Hello, and welcome to the Lumension Patch Tuesday security briefing for August 2014. This is Russ Ernst, Director of Product Management for Lumension. The patches released by Microsoft today for August Patch Tuesday include 9 bulletins, 2 critical and 7 important, and cover 38 CVEs. IT's first priority should be the critical cumulative update for IE. MS 14051 includes 25 CVEs for all supported versions of the browser. All are privately disclosed with the exception of one, CVE 2014-2819, which was publicly disclosed just last week at Black Hat. It allows an attacker to bypass the application sandbox and elevate privilege, but it must be combined with another remote code execution vulnerability to ultimately be successful. If you feel like you're constantly patching IE, you are. A cumulative update for the browser is now the rule more so than the exception. To help users keep up, Microsoft announced last week that they will support only the most recent version of IE for each supported operating system starting in January 2016. In the meantime, they will offer customers migration resources and upgrade guidance. Also last week, Microsoft said they will push out a new feature in IE that blocks ActiveX controls, including old versions of Java. This is a great security win for the enterprise, and IT should consider the creation of a group policy that blocks old versions of one of the bad guys' favorite attack vectors. That is, of course, as long as your line of business apps are not tied to older Java versions. The second critical bulletin, MS 14-043, covers off on one privately disclosed CVE for a vulnerability in Windows 7, 8, and 8.1 when a malicious file is opened using Windows Media Center that can allow a remote code execution. MS 14-044 is a vulnerability in SQL Server that can allow elevation of privilege. It covers off on 2 CVEs and occurs when a user visits a malicious website. MS 14-050 is another patch for server, in this instance Microsoft's SharePoint server. It's a vulnerability that could allow elevation of privilege when a user installs a malicious app. MS 14-045 is for a vulnerability in kernel mode drivers that can allow elevation of privilege. This one spans all supported versions of Windows and includes 3 CVEs. MS 14-046 is for one privately disclosed CVE for a vulnerability in .NET Framework that can allow security feature bypass. The important class bulletin impacts Windows and Windows Server from Vista to 8.1. MS 14-047 patches most versions of Windows for a vulnerability that can allow a security feature bypass in local remote procedure call. And lastly, MS 14-048 is a vulnerability in OneNote 2007 that can allow a remote code execution when a specially crafted file is opened. Remember, if you rely on WSUS, Windows Intune, or System Center Configuration Manager for patching, you must apply the Windows 8.1 update issued in April 2014 before you can get any of the above mentioned patches. Microsoft began enforcing that requirement today. This has been the Lumension Patch Tuesday security briefing for August 2014. Thanks for joining us.